Do real estate agents really help? We're going to get into it on today's episode. I think about it like this. Every career, every vocation has people that are good at that job and people that are not good at that job. There are good and bad attorneys. There are good and bad marketers. There are good and bad doctors. There are good and bad teachers, so on and so forth. In my experience, based on now 7 years and thousands of closings, is that when it comes to real estate agents, pretty much any of the top 75% add value to the transaction. Even agents that are like almost in the bottom 25% still make the transaction better in some way, shape, or form. The bottom 25%, sometimes they make it a lot worse.
You don't have much value.
Or we don't even hear from them.
So if you are in the bottom 25%, then we would gladly ask you to go use some. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Now, there are some examples, and I've read these, and a lot of them are things that we see agents do in our local market. For example, knows how to get answers. This is a good one. On one house, it was unclear if it was a septic tank or cell pool. I don't know. We don't call it that here. I wonder if that's sewer. My agent called me back Monday at noon, says he called the city and pulled the original 1950s land surveys and plans on the house, which showed where the septic tank and leach field was. And then he straight up cold called the septic company and asked when the last time they pumped out at the address. That's a great example of, okay, you're like, well, how do we find out?
You as a buyer wouldn't have even thought of that.
Or you maybe would have eventually gotten to that after you've taken time away from your job and personal free time to look up all this stuff. How do I figure it out?
What I'm saying about he called them to ask when they pumped it out last. Like, you usually don't think about that. You're like, is it good? Cool.
Yeah.
But the agents every single time is like, oh yeah, you need to make sure your septic's been pumped when you buy the house. And it's like, oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But I would have never thought about that on my own.
Or not until much later, or maybe after you've closed and you're like, I didn't even think to ask. You know, like, it's things that like maybe but in the moment you've got so many things. Like if you are going it solo, for sure, buying a house or selling a house is like another full-time job. That's why a real estate agent, for the most part, that is their full-time job, helping people buy and sell houses. So those are things that, like, it doesn't mean that you can't do it or that you're not smart enough to do it. It's that, okay, well, maybe you have a career that you need to attend to. If you can't take 3 months off to get everything done and devote your day to this, then why would you not? So here's another one. My buyer's agent was able to successfully negotiate a $10K repair credit on a house already $80K below list in a high cost of living market. They were also able to get me a showing the same day the seller was reviewing offers, which led to mine being accepted. That negotiating thing is, listen, I'm not like I wouldn't be the one you call when you're like, go be a tough negotiator, because
Not for house.
But agents, they're trained in this, and some of them really, really like it. But these are things that, like, okay, well, if you don't want to spend the time, like you on Facebook Marketplace haggling over a table, couldn't be me.
Oh, I don't haggle. I say what you do. Like, here's what it costs. Buy it or not. Here's what I'll pay for it.
But dealing with the back and forth.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I'm not doing all of that.
No.
Here's another one, local property knowledge. This one's really important in the lake. But the house we ultimately bought was very weird on paper, and the photos made it seem very awkward. Mix that with when you drive by, it looks tiny from the street. We almost didn't even go in. Our agent had looked at this house years prior and knew the photos didn't show the real house and said, just go check it out. And they ended up going in, loved the house, realized she was right. It was just bad photos. So that's another thing, like knowing the local market, being familiar with properties over the years. Perhaps maybe you're dealing with an agent, like you're trying to buy a house. Maybe they knew the owners a couple of years back, or they know when certain things were done to the house because they've been here and they've seen it. They've been involved in transactions. They viewed the house. I think that's so valuable. And the agents we deal with, they're very familiar with the houses on the market. They do the agent previews. That way they can go in and know what they're like. If their client says, I'm looking for this, this, and this,
well, especially,
I've already seen the house.
Yeah, all these houses on the water, especially, like, a lot of the agents that are local here have gone to these houses already. And you're like, I went and toured this house when Jack bought it 3 3 owners ago, and I know he renovated the entire thing. And so like they know the history of the house, of what it used to be, what it was, who used to live there. And there's a lot of value for that.
The real estate agents, I feel like they get a lot of crap that they don't deserve, because a lot of people don't realize what a good real estate agent does for a transaction until they've had a bad one or they've tried to do it themselves. From the attorney's perspective, 99 times out of 100, if we have 100 closings where the parties are unrepresented by an agent, 99 times out of 100, it's going to be a difficult transaction.
I mean, you would rather charge double or even triple for someone that's unrepresented because of the amount of time you have to put into it. Because one, they probably didn't do their paperwork right. They have so many questions as far as like, well, what should I get? Should I get a survey? Should I get this? Who do I contact? They come to you like you're the real estate agent.
What should my due diligence fee be? What should I offer on this property? We don't run comps. Agents do. And also the agents are good at this. They've got a network of people. Maybe you look at the inspection report and you see doom and gloom, but they know just the person that they can get a quote for repairs and have it on the schedule, and you negotiate and you get your concession, whatever it may be. So they have this network of people that they can reach out to, that they can, in just a few phone calls, figure out the answer to a problem that might take you a significant amount of time, because you're having to first, okay, who can I even call about this? Who's the right person to call? All right, now let me go down the list of the 10 numbers I found. They can't help me. They're too busy, so on and so forth. And the real estate agent has already, through their experience and their time doing this, developed that network out of who's reliable and who can answer your question. Yeah, well, that's my take on it. Is, do real estate agents really help? Personal experience, yes, good real estate agents do help. Like I said, top 75% are going to add value to the transaction to varying degrees. Maybe that lower third or lower half is not that much, but the top agents are going to make it.
If you're in that bottom quarter, then you just need to watch more of these YouTube videos and listen to more podcasts from our channel. Yeah. Maybe you'll work your way into the top.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining me today.
Always my pleasure, Tiff.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more videos like this one.